Welcome everybody. It is time for a new series on the channel where we are going to go trick-or-treating together. And what I mean by that is we're going to be taking a look at the merchandise that's out in the stores now and up until Halloween, and we are going to decide what is a trick and what is a treat. So I'm going to start today with the at-home store. You've probably seen several videos posted online of some walkthroughs. In fact, I did one recently. If you haven't checked it out, make sure you do. But the one thing that I noticed in that walkthrough video is that there were so many empty shelves. Now, the at-home store is one of my very favorite stores to shop out for the Halloween season. They always have lots of wonderful stuff, but it's just not out yet, and I'm feeling left behind. So I went on their website, and they've got a lot of interesting items popping up already for the season, and we're going to take a look at them today. Like I said, this is trick and treat, or trick or treat, but we're going to split this up. So today we're going to focus on the treats, the things that I found on the site that I'm going to recommend that we take a closer look at some point, and the tricks that I'm wondering really, like, what is going on with those. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in with my top 10 treats of the at-home store. All right, so here we go. We are at the at-home store website. I've already selected the top 10 items for you today, but no peeking ahead. So we're going to start with this crystal ball. This is a black oil slick crystal ball, and I don't exactly know what that means, black oil slick, if that is some sort of name or what, but I'm always looking for a crystal ball. In fact, if you watched my videos last year, I was really trying to find the perfect crystal ball. And I even put up a poll as to which crystal ball would work better. And I didn't actually end up getting either of them because none of them really gives me that spooky vibe, I guess, that I'm looking for. Now, the problem with the at-home website is it doesn't really give you a description here or a video to click on, but we can kind of get a gist of it from the image here. And I did happen to look this up on the internet, so I know that the globe here changes colors. It almost looks like there's something inside it, like bats that might twirl around inside. So this is something that I think looks pretty cool that we'll want to take a closer look at. Now, it is $19.99, which is perhaps a little bit pricey for this. I think the price point on some of the crystal balls that we were looking at last year were like $10, $15. So even though this one looks a little bit nicer, I'm not sure if it's going to justify the price. But nonetheless, I'm going to consider this something that I'm going to recommend so far. All right, moving on. This I thought was kind of neat. Let's give us a better look here. This is almost a 38-inch bat sign welcome stake. And what I really like about this, aside from its awesome sort of angles and things, it looks almost kind of like Tim Burton-esque with this, almost Nightmare Before Christmas. But, it's kind of fun. It's got that little bat that says welcome. But look at this price point. It's $14.99. You cannot really get a better price point for a large prop. I'm calling it large. It is really only a little over 3 feet tall, which is a shame. I mean, this would be really awesome. In fact, I'd pay double if it were double height and were 6 feet tall. But you might be able to stick this inside of something or on top of something. Usually, you could take some bales of hay and then just sort of stake it down inside the bale of hay to give it a little bit more extra height. But let's see, how wide is it? The width here, it lists it as 0.3 inches. I'm going to assume that's not correct. Maybe 15 inches. So anyway, it's not the best size, but it's pretty cool looking. So we'll call that a treat too. Now next we have a poly-skeleton cameo decor. Now this reminds me offhand of the sort of bust figures that we saw a lot at the, what is that store called? TJ Maxx and Home Goods type places. The busts are always really fun. This one looks like it's got some light up eyes. In fact, we've seen a very similar one of these in the home goods store in previous years. The skeleton, it's got this sort of ruffle. I think the one that we saw at Home Goods was more of a hood, like a Grim Reaper hood. So I'm not sure if that's supposed to mimic the same thing. I guess it is, but it's a little, I guess, flowing for my taste. But nonetheless, it's pretty cool, especially for the $29.99 price point. Now this is a pretty decent sized prop for that. The height is 18.2 inches, so that's pretty substantial. And I think he looks pretty cool. It might be a little dark. It would have been nice if they had made him more of a perhaps a dark gray color, like a bust. But, you know, I love the busts in general, so I think he's pretty cool too. All right. Fourth up, we have a 4-foot Tricks and Treats sign. Now this is an inflatable. It's kind of cute and simple. It's got the Halloween colors. In fact, this would almost have been a little bit better if they had just stuck with like candy corn colors for fall and Halloween. But the reason I really like it is in my past haunts, I've often had to direct people. I have different ways that you could approach my house. In fact, I don't think I've really ever given away trick-or-treat candy at my front door. So I'll often have a sign pointing in a different direction to indicate where people are supposed to go. So this would actually work very well for me. I'm not sure if it will work for everybody or if anybody would even need such a thing, but it's only 20 bucks and it's 4 feet tall, so it's a pretty good size. I think for that, you know, I love it. I think it might be, if that's something that, you know, is a need for you as well, could be pretty good. All right, fifth up. This might be a little bit gory. This is a cut off head old man. Now, the reason I put this in here is because I've purchased some severed heads before in the past for my guillotine prop, and I know I must have paid at least twice this price. This is $14.99. I'm almost positive I paid $30 for mine. So without seeing this in person and knowing the quality, you know, this is just kind of a guess, but it looks like it is a pretty good quality prop. It looks very realistic and very spooky, and you know, the dimensions look good. It's only 8 inches wide, but it's 13 inches tall, so that's, you know, roughly about head size. So one thing that really irks me about a lot of props is when they aren't life size. This certainly seems like it is life size. It's certainly very detailed. Certainly worth $14.99. Next up, we have a tombstone. Now, I know a lot of people out there like building their own tombstones, and I'm, you know, more power to you. But that is definitely not something that I can do. I am not, you know, that artistic when it comes to building tombstones. This one is actually pretty cool. It's got a lot of detail, little skull motif there. That almost looks like kind of a spider with another skull. And clearly it's got some lights here built into it. So it's got a whole lot of interest going on. As, that, you know, it's going to add some interest to your cemetery. Does it say how much it weighs? It doesn't look like it, but I'm guessing this is not just a little styrofoam prop. Hopefully at this price point for $49.99, it is, you know, resin or whatever and weighs a good amount. If this just ended up being, you know, a cheap styrofoam prop, definitely not worth it, but it certainly doesn't look like that. So another cool prop, another treat. Next up, I thought this was kind of cute. It is one of those book boxes. So, you know, it's something that you can throw on your coffee table. It's a box, but when you open it, like, it looks like a book. So when you open up that cover, it's a box. It's not a real book, but I thought the title was awesome. People to Cast Spells On, which is totally me because, you know, I hate people in general. So if you were to walk in my living room and you saw this on my coffee table, it would certainly look like I'm plotting against people in general. That's totally me. I think it's awesome. But let's see, what is this? It's only 5 inches wide, and I'm guessing, you know, 5 by 8. So that's the size of like a small picture frame, which now that I'm thinking about it, perhaps this might not be, oh, I guess it says right there, 5 by 8 book box. It might not be the best prop given its size, that it's so small. I'd have to see it in person, but I really like it on the website here. I think it's pretty cool. What else can we say? It's only $8. Only, you know, a lot of people like to make their own spell books too. There are plenty of tutorials online. So I might just want to steal this title and put it on a book that I made. You could certainly save a whole lot of money doing that. But for sheer inspiration, we'll call that a treat. All right, we've got 3 more to go. Number 8. This I thought was super cute, although it is kind of pricey. You can see here it's $60, but it is another inflatable, and this is Zero from the Nightmare Before Christmas movie. He's just such a cool character, and he's cute. And I love his little doghouse here. It could certainly fit in a cemetery. And even if you don't really know who Zero is, and you haven't seen The Nightmare Before Christmas, you would know. I mean, this would just fit in. It's atmospheric. You have a ghost dog house, a little cemetery, you know, cross on the top. So whether you know it or you don't, it's certainly Halloween. And it's just so darn cute. It is 5 feet tall. $60, a little pricey. How wide is it? It's almost, well, let's see. You know, it's kind of hard to tell when they keep listing the lengths and the widths and the heights. So length, I guess, ideally would be front to back, right? And that's about 28 inches, a little over 2 feet. The width is almost 40 inches, so that's good. Over 3 feet wide, which almost seems wrong. I wonder if that should be 3 feet front to back. But anyway, it's certainly a prop that I'm looking forward to seeing in the store. I'm probably not going to buy it because I don't like spending $60 on props, certainly not inflatables. But if I did want to spend that kind of money, I could see myself purchasing this. All right, number 9, Maleficent hanging character. Now this is also one of those props that's a little pricey, and I'm guessing it's not very substantial. You probably don't get a whole lot for it. However, it is 65 inches in length. I guess that's from arm tip to arm tip. And by the way, look at those fingers. That middle finger is crazy. Is her finger that big in, I guess, the movie? Or, you know, because she's a Disney character. Well, I guess, I don't know. Is she actually a named character in the fairy tales? I don't know. But anyway, moving on. She's basically 5 feet tall. And I'm guessing it's just like a thin little pole type piece, and then another one for the arms. I bet those arms will fold down. And then there's just fabric hanging off it. So again, there's not a whole lot to it, but people love Maleficent. People love Disney. So she's got a great look to her. She's very creepy and fun. She doesn't quite look as evil as I would expect. Her horns look a little fat here. So certainly not the Angelina Jolie Maleficent, but a cool Maleficent nonetheless. So if this is any indication, I'm sure we're going to see a lot of interesting Disney products in the at-home store this year. All right, last but not least, number 10. The 7-foot scary clown. Now this is another inflatable that is $60. They did have inflatables on their website that were, well over $100. And I picked one that I thought just screamed scary, and that is of course a clown, because who doesn't like, or who does like clowns, I guess? Not many people. He's kind of terrifying, and I think little kids would be frightened of him. So I picked him because, even though he is $60, he's 7 feet tall. So he is a big prop. He's going to loom over people wherever you put him. If you're going to put him out in your yard, people are going to see him from far away. If you put him like in a party area, it's going to be just like looming right over the guests. He's just pretty fun in general. Very scary. All right, that does it. Those were my top 10 treats from the at-home website. I'm going to call this part 1 because they're just starting to put things out, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot of more fun and fabulous Halloween things out there. So stay tuned for more treats eventually, but in even the shorter term, stay tuned for my tricks. I'll try and get that video up tomorrow. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. So be sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with some of my treat selections here, or do you think some of these might have been better as a trick? And that's it for today. So until next time, everybody, take care. Happy haunting.